2,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight. Yes, it's him.
Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome back. My name is Gillis the Kid. I'm here again with my friend Nick, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is The Force Awakens,
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, which we just seen.
Yeah.
And
so this will also double as a review too.
Yeah. Of course, we'll have like other reviews, like a more in-depth review.
Yeah.
But Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out in 2015, and it was directed by.
I thought it was I think it was either 14 or 15.
Yeah, I think it was 15.
15, yeah.
And it was directed by J.J. Abrams. So, after Disney bought everything, he took over and we'll talk a little bit about the characters and what's actually happening now. So there's been some speculation that Rey was not a Jedi, or she was a Jedi,
or some form of a Jedi.
Yeah. Now we know she is, so now we can actually talk about all three movies. But The Force Awakens, you want to actually tell them exactly about this one, because this was like a new hope for me. So
yeah. It starts out on Jakku. She's a scavenger, kind of almost similar to what Luke was in Episode 4 and Anakin before him. So it was supposed to parallel those two movies,
right?
Because they wanted to connect it, because they wanted to try to. In my eyes, I think the prequels were redeemed compared to these new three.
Well, in this movie, she was feeling the Force. I don't know if she knew exactly what it was yet.
I don't think she did either.
Yeah. But she had that fighting spirit.
Yeah.
Because she always had that bow
staff
with her.
Yeah.
So. So didn't she meet, I think she met Finn first?
Finn, yeah.
Yeah. Who was a stormtrooper. And then Kylo Ren came into play when he went to that planet and he was like killing off everybody.
Yeah, that's actually where Finn and Kylo came in on the planet of Jakku, because they were sent there to find some guy, I think, named Lor Santeca, which was his uncle Luke's friend. And He was the keeper of all the knowledge of the Jedi.
Right. In this movie, you actually see certain powers that you don't see in the old ones, like when he
had to stop a blaster bolt in midair.
Right. I mean, that I liked. It was just So here's what I wanted to talk about. How did Rey know how to do everything that Luke knew how to do right off the bat?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Because George Lucas said that in the hero's journey, the hero was supposed to learn things. But in these ones, like this, she's just like God. She don't have to learn nothing. She just automatically can do it. And it's just like, oops, I didn't know I could do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? and
she had the lightsaber.
And pilot a ship too, the Millennium Falcon. I don't know how she learned how to do that, but
the thing is, she knew how to use a lightsaber in a way where she was battling Kylo Ren.
I know, no lightsaber.
Who actually
training.
had practice.
Well, Finn could do it too. I think Finn is force sensitive as well.
Right.
But we'll get into that in the later movies. Finn, Rey. You see, she got her start as a scavenger, so I think half of that was her trying to wielding that bow staff.
Yeah.
So that's I think actually how she.
Yeah, she knew how to fight.
Yeah, knew how to fight. Yeah.
And
Finn knew how to use it because he was a stormtrooper.
Right.
So he had practice with that stuff too, but not a lightsaber.
Right. Which he picked up and used too.
Yeah. Which he somehow managed to use a great deal of too.
But and then there's The Last Jedi, which is the second movie in the new trilogy.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that was a complete mess.
Yeah, mine too. Not a lot of people like that, and I think a lot of YouTubers out there would agree.
Right.
And a lot of views out there, because see, in this one, there's a lot of plot holes. To start off, okay, gravity in space. You can drop bombs and they'll just automatically drop onto their target. I guess there's gravity in space now.
Right. Yeah. How come they didn't float?
I know. That's one of the plot holes too.
Well, here's another thing that was kind of weird when Leia got blown out of the ship.
Yeah.
And she just floated back in.
Float like that.
Wouldn't she have frozen though?
She did. She did freeze up. She was pretty much dead, but I guess as we'll come to find out, she also had a little bit of force training from Luke and lightsaber training as well. So I guess that's how she was able to preserve her life.
Right. And then you have
and they kill Admiral Ackbar, by the way, which is another loss to the Star Wars.
Yeah, he finally died, and someone else got killed too. Han
Solo died in the Force Awakens. Yeah,
Han Solo.
Yeah,
he gets
stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber.
When I was watching that scene, I
seen it coming.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's because Harrison Ford didn't really like playing that character anyway.
I don't think they had any say over what happened in that movie.
Me neither. I know Mark Hamill said he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have any say as to what, because he had already written his character already, the new Luke Skywalker, and they just took everything just like they did with George Lucas and just gave it the old heave-ho. So I know he was pretty ticked about.
This was also the movie where remember at the end of The Force Awakens where they were just standing there on the rock?
Yeah.
And then when the new movie started,
it just picked up from there.
He just threw his lightsaber away. And he was drinking that weird milk.
That blue milk.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What were they doing?
I don't know. I guess that was Ryan Johnson's bright ideas.
Thinking, making this.
I don't know. They could have done better. Ryan Johnson could have done better.
Yeah,
but it was all over. The Last Jedi was all over the place, as many of you already know. Also, I don't know what he had against Chewie, but he didn't write Chewie that good either. Chewbacca.
He didn't write any of the characters good. And then we go into the Rise of the Skywalker, which we just saw, and I'm going to be quite honest, there were some parts that I liked that made sense, and then there were some parts that didn't make sense. It's hard to talk about it and not give too much of it away.
I know, but this kind of is a spoiler review, because if you haven't seen these already, it's pretty much, the reviews are all over. It was hard for me because I had to stay off of YouTube until I actually saw these.
Right. Well, the thing is, they made it look like Finn was falling in love with Rey, which he didn't. Remember, he kept saying, "I got something to tell you."
Yeah.
And then that never
Yeah, and then that never went nowhere. And then in The Last Jedi, they made it seem like he was falling in love with this Rose Tico lady.
Right.
And then like what was the whole point? Like, if he had sacrificed himself for the rebellion, it probably would have been better off. But I guess they had plans for him.
Well, it was that scene when he was in the speeder.
Yeah, and he was heading towards the thing. Also, Luke pretty much uses the Force to kill himself, which I don't know why. Right. He uses battle meditation.
Just like he used a hologram to trick like all the ATs or whatever they call.
Yeah, he like astro projected himself onto the planet. You know what I mean?
They didn't know that was a hologram, though?
No.
Oh, and then you have the Sith Wayfinders.
Yeah.
Which are really called Sith hologrons, but
but they're just wayfinders to,
Well, a lot of new people today probably wouldn't know what a Sith holocron is. So they called it like the Wayfinders. So.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, it was pretty much just, a way to go. It was pretty much just a wayfinder because the Emperor was so far out into space that it was basically an uncharted territory.
Right.
The Jedi, the Republic hadn't gotten its reach out there by then.
Right. It was way beyond the Outer Rim, I think.
Yeah, you had to like travel like what looked like it was like
light years.
Light years, like you had to like maneuver through light speed just to get there.
And of course, he's alive now.
Yeah, he's alive.
What was that thing on his back? Like a machine?
Yeah, it was a machine like keeping him alive.
He looked blind too.
He was because he was like so old. He was like I mean, I don't know how old he was, but I think he was older than Yoda. Yeah. Like Yoda was like 900 years old.
Right.
I think just the dark side was keeping his ass alive the whole time.
And then they had all those like Sith-looking people with the robes.
Yeah, it was all the Sith from all the millennia.
Well, some people say it was like a projection, like it wasn't really people. It was just Sidious projecting them to look like Sith. But
I think it was, but I think he was like he brought them back using Sith alchemy.
Okay.
Like because it was a Sith temple that he was in, so. It was like all the Sith that had died over, like
they were like ghosts. Or
it was like their Force ghosts. He just accumulated all the Sith to him.
Well, people ask because, they had those statues falling on top of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they were
they were running, so they were trying to get out. So I'm guessing they were people.
They were people. Then.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and he also created Snoke, so Snoke was basically a clone created by Palpatine.
Didn't they have him, like, in a tank?
Yeah, they had him in a cloning tank.
And Snoke his character never evolved into anything either.
No, they just, like, Kylo just, kind of tricked him in the Last Jedi.
Yeah, he was just sitting on the throne.
And he just ignited the lightsaber when he was sitting next to it and just cut him in half.
I wanted to see Snoke fight.
Me too.
I wanted to see, like, what his...
I know, it's...
Because we all know that, like, the Dark Lords have Force powers.
Yes.
Like, we know they all have, like, the Force shock thing, which he did use, but I wanted to see him use... It was
basically through, like, a ring that he had gotten from Darth Vader's castle.
I wanted to see him use the lightsaber.
Me too. But it never, I mean, The Last Jedi was... Oh, my God.
It was just... It could have been...
It could have been better, yeah.
And then they had... Oh yeah, Sidious. He brought them together, sucking the life force out of them.
Yeah, he sucked the life force out of them, but and then he flung Kylo, I guess, down some hole, which I thought would have killed him.
Right.
But
I thought that would have killed him too, but then he crawled back up.
Yeah. Because who knows where that hole went to that he got flung down.
Yeah.
And there was and he got flung down in a way where there was no way he could have grabbed onto anything to help him, right. Because he had gotten his life force sucked out. So how did he crawl out if he had no life force?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting Sidious to fight. We all know that Sidious can fight.
Yeah.
So, but when I seen that like machine like connected to his back, I knew he wasn't fighting nobody.
No.
That was strong force powers, though.
Yeah, he shot force lightning up into the sky, which disrupted the rebellion's computer systems, so they couldn't fight. Then, and then Lando just shows up out of nowhere with like a whole armada behind him. I don't know where.
Why did they do that the first time?
They had to maneuver their way past everything. They had to maneuver their way past all with the Sith Finder.
Well, somebody, I was talking to someone and they was telling. Remember that, like the Superstar Destroyer in the Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Like that was useless.
I know. Poe just destroyed it, and.
Oh, that lady destroyed it.
Yeah, the bombers just destroyed it, and I don't know, like
it's the sequel's all over the place.
I know. That's why we're all over the place trying to tell you guys about this.
It's like it's a story that sort of goes somewhere, and then it hits a roadblock, and then you have to think, and you're like, okay, what's happening? And then there's like another side story that's just takes you somewhere else. It's crazy.
Like Poe and all them, like the comedy to me was just ill-timed. Like they have a lot of comedy in these movies that it really goes nowhere. Like the comedy just doesn't match the scene.
Right.
So and supposedly Rey's Palpatine's granddaughter, so she's a Palpatine. That came out of the. Yeah, that's So a lot of the fan theories that you've probably heard on YouTube are actually true, and many of them aren't.
Some guy said that the trailer spoiled the movie for him. Because remember in the trailer, like Rey had like the double-bladed red lightsaber.
Oh, that was in the second. That was in the ruins of the second Death Star.
But the trailer made you think she was going to turn to the dark side.
Oh man, they made you think that. They made you think that too. And
I wanted to see that. I wanted to see her like fight
dark
with
side,
that double-bladed. They didn't show any of that.
I know. They just. Well, she kind of did fight with the double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah.
But it was a force projection that Kylo put up there.
Rey is like the worst, like lightsaber duelist.
I know.
She's so like wild with it. Like you could easily just like slice her head off. Like,
I know.
She doesn't even hold it like. Remember how Anakin and Obi-Wan used to hold
it with the two-handed.
Yeah, she just grabs it with one hand and just swings it wildly at you. It's so ridiculous.
I mean, I understand she didn't have a lot of training in lightsaber dueling because, like, by this time, like, it's always in some way there are no Jedi in the galaxy, and if there are Jedi, they're hard to find, and they don't want to teach nobody anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, not even that. I mean, just choreography. Like they need somebody to like show them how to fight. The best.
Not even Kylo Ren's a good duelist.
Yeah, he's bad too.
And he's still.
What is that? With the. Like he grabs it like this and he just...
Oh, the cross guard?
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, the cross guard has two lightsaber things protruding out the side.
Oh, here's a lightsaber right here. Yes. Like he grabs it like this and he's like slicing you like that. Like he fights with a longer lightsaber like it's a short sword or something.
Well, it's like it's almost like how a sword would be in the real world. So... It has the So he has the well, this is blue, but like this is the blade, the red blade, and it has like two red blades protruding out the sides like so. So
it's like
what he does is he just goes down and just parries it backwards like that because I guess he just doesn't want to get cut by the too small hilt. Yeah.
And speaking of lightsaber blades, now Rey, she's a consular now, right?
Sentinel.
Oh, the Sentinel.
Yeah, she has a yellow.
The consular was the green. Right?
Yeah. The Jedi Sentinel. Now she has a yellow lightsaber, which I assume she made out of the staff that she took because remember she had the metal piece up there that looked like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So she took that off and like. I guess made a lightsaber out of it.
We only seen the movie once. We'll probably watch it again.
Yeah. Very doubtful. Very doubtful.
The only thing I liked about the movie was like the locations for one, they got that right.
Yeah, the desert planet.
I like the symbolism with like the Sith temple and stuff like that. And it did seem like he did some research with the different lightsaber blades and stuff like, you know.
Yeah, and she just buries Luke and Leia's lightsabers at the old homestead on Tatooine. So,
Right.
so and there's also a new Star Destroyer wreck over Jakku. So when you see the original wreck of the Star Destroyer on Jakku, there's now another from the old Galactic Empire days, which many of you who played the new Battlefront game might remember that Star Destroyer crashing there.
Right.
But there's now a new Sith Empire.
What you talking about, like the First Order?
Yeah, the First Order Star Destroyer that crashed there too. What I don't understand is where the hell do they keep finding all these people and then killing them off?
When I first saw the First Order, it reminded me of like the Nazi regime.
Yeah,
Even the symbols on the flags
resembled that. Yeah,
looked like that.
and General Hux, I guess, is a spy for the new
He
Resistance,
turned out to be a spy.
which he ended up dying anyway. They ended up shooting him, so so he basically should have left when they asked him to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't do that. I guess it was poor writing, or they just wanted to make a martyr out of him. Who knew?
I like at the end where he's like, oh, it's not a fleet, it's just people.
Yeah,
Like Lando brings like everyone.
everybody from every single galaxy, even planets that were destroyed and you didn't think nobody escaped from. And they also blow up another planet with the Star Destroyer gun ray. It just like vaporized the planet.
Yeah, every Star Destroyer is capable of
Killing a
destroying
planet now. Yeah.
When I first saw that, I was like, what? No.
I mean, I can understand one, but where do you get the time to fit every Star Destroyer you ever built with a planet-killing ray?
I don't know.
Even and where do you even get the funds to do that?
Not even. Where do you get the help to do that?
I know. How many there's like not even enough galaxies full of people to even help you build that.
I guess robots. Oh, and Luke
Is a Force ghost now.
well, yeah, that and his he brought his X-Wing up.
back up, yeah. I mean, that thing's been sitting down there for well over 30 years. Like almost 40 years even. I mean, not to mention the age that it was.
That thing had to be the best waterproof X-Wing ever.
I know. I'm sitting there like, how are you sure that thing's even safe to fly? Like, you get halfway up in the air in the planet and then your systems just fail on you. Like,
oh man, wasn't it underwater?
it had seaweed growing from it.
No, I mean like in the Return of the Jedi, wasn't it in the water though?
That was in the Empire Strikes Back. It crashed into a swamp.
Into the swamp.
So it got waterlogged there. I mean, Luke had that thing since A New Hope. I mean, and plus, who knows who had that thing even before he flew it?
Yeah, apparently it still worked.
Yeah, apparently.
The old technology still works.
I don't know. But, that thing literally had seaweed growing out of the engine. I mean, I can imagine the cleaning she had to do just to make sure that thing still flew.
Yeah. Not unless she was just using the Force to power it.
Probably. Because I see no way how that thing. I don't even think the weapons system even worked on that thing.
Yeah. Then they had the scene where we thought Chewie had died.
Yeah.
Where she's trying to pull the shuttle out of the air.
She just shocked it with the Force lightning.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I like about these movies. They show like every single like Jedi power. Because when you play, when you played those games like the Old Republic and stuff like that, in the older movies, you never saw any of those powers.
No.
Well, you saw like Force Shock, but
Force Choke and Force Shock and everything. But you never saw there's a lot of powers that you see the Sith and the Jedi have a tattered history. They're making a new. They're gonna be showing a new trailer for Episode 10 this summer coming in, but it's gonna be like old Republic type stuff.
Okay. Well, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to see more of the story about like Revan and
They made him canon too, by the way. Him and
Revan and Darth Malak.
Darth Malak, yeah. I don't know if they're going to use some of the old stories from the people that wrote the old Republic games, but
Because Bastila was one of my favorite characters,
yeah,
and she turned out to be like a Sentinel too.
yeah, she was in Knights. She was in Knights 1 and 2.
Well, she actually reminds me of Rey because she had the yellow lightsaber blade. So, along with like Handmaiden and all the other,
Which you can train to be Jedi.
Yeah. Was that even possible to have like a whole party of Jedi?
I guess in part 2 it is.
Oh.
That's what I liked about part 2. Like I didn't have to, I had like a whole ship full of Jedi with me. So it was kind of like, having my own. It was like having your own like portable Jedi temple. You didn't have to stay long in one spot. You could just hop in your ship and take off somewhere.
Right. But I mean, yeah, we'll probably have some more in-depth reviews about the movies coming up. We still have like Rogue One.
Yeah.
What was the other side story?
Solo.
Oh, Han Solo.
Yeah.
There's also The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Which their last episode comes on this Friday.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, like they're making a Kenobi. They're showing I don't know what Kenobi did on Tatooine all them years.
I don't know. They're basically just making a side story for everything.
And they're doing a Mace Windu standalone series detailing how he survived that encounter with Sidious, which I felt deep down inside that I kind of felt that he really didn't die in that encounter.
Yeah.
But I think he was the one who helped create the Wayfinders, like the Sith Wayfinders.
Listen, if Darth Maul survived and Sidious survived, then now I guess there's a chance that Mace
could have survived. Yeah. Which I don't get it. Like, if he was still alive, he could have always reached out to Yoda and Kenobi, and they could have just rebuilt the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
That's what I felt should have happened.
I mean, again, you need the money and the.
Well, you need the trust of the people.
Yeah.
Because inside the temple, there were holocrons to show Force-sensitive kids, so they could have always gotten them, found those kids, trained them, and hunted down Anakin and Sidious.
Well,
You see, I would have put a.
But if someone puts out word that you training all these people getting to be Jedi, it's like...
Yeah, well, they had surviving Jedi
you're just another
out
big
there,
target.
yeah. Well, they had surviving Jedi, so they could have always regrouped on a planet, okay? Granted, Mace would probably wouldn't have been in the best of shape to do combat until he recovered.
Right.
But he'd still be there. And, see, I would have put a kill-capture order on both on Anakin and Palpatine. Of course, Palpatine, I probably would have just executed. Yeah. Anakin, I don't know what I would do with him because, to me, I'm not a big Anakin fan, and you're probably going to get in trouble for this, but I thought he was a bitch boy.
I mean, a lot of people thought that.
Just like some pretty boy that people liked. That's all he was to me. You know what I mean? I mean, well, if I was a Jedi, I would have tried to.
Well, I feel the same way about Ben.
Ben's, yeah.
Like Kylo Ren. He just was not a good villain to me.
Me neither. Like some whiny little boy becomes like the main bad guy in the galaxy, like Vader.
Right. He did not match up to Vader at all.
No. Ben Solo is absolutely not his grandfather. Okay, so he's like nowhere near being as bad as Vader.
All right.
As bad as Vader was. Vader was imposing in that armor, and see, I liked him better in his armor. If you were to if he didn't get burnt and he was just regular Anakin in the flesh with just robotic limbs, he wouldn't have scared me that much.
Right.
Until I saw him in combat.
Yeah.
Then I probably would have crapped myself and ran away.
Yeah, because I mean, like Revenge of the Sith has some of the best lightsaber battles, probably in the entire series.
Just so you know, we will argue the Mace versus Palpatine battle. I think Mace had Palpatine until Anakin intervened.
Oh yeah.
Now the duel between Sidious and Yoda, I will admit Yoda was the more supreme duelist. He managed to disarm Sidious.
Right.
So he won the battle. I mean, he won the duel, but he lost the battle.
Right.
In the Force, because Yoda just was not willing to go that far that Sidious would go with the Force.
Yeah, he didn't think that Anakin would do that.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta watch your back. I still can't believe he killed Kit Fisto and
I know. I know. I don't know, to me that either speaks to his ineptitude or their poor dueling skills.
Well, they were in a confined space too.
Well, yeah, but Kit Fisto could have always jumped out of the way, because Kit Fisto was a good duelist.
But again, they never
expected. Yeah,
they never fought nobody like him.
Yeah, nobody. At least nobody is skilled.
Remember how he was jumping around too? Like that was crazy.
Yeah, well, Mace was a master of all 7 forms. So basically, Mace, it was basically a game of catch. Like Sidious would throw the ball, Mace would catch it and throw it back. So for the first time, Mace had an opponent where he could finally keep up with in the dueling center.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to your skill in combat, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I got for now. Like I said, we'll probably have some more reviews coming up pretty soon. There is a lot of questions. That's why we do these reviews. So
yeah, it's a lot.
Feel free to drop them down into the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the other movie that was coming out? There's like another. There's like another Star Wars movie coming out on Disney Plus. Was it like a cartoon or something?
You talking about Rebels or?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Clone Wars. I think that they're putting the final season of the Clone Wars back on too.
I think you gotta watch some of the cartoons
in order to understand what we're talking about.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kanan Jarrus was in there, but he was just in there as a voice. So Ahsoka, which was Anakin's apprentice during the Clone Wars, her voice is in there, which I don't remember her dying. But I guess she did die in between.
I haven't seen any of the cartoons, so
yeah. So I'm guessing by this time, if Mace did survive, he's already dead.
Right.
So,
I want the Old Republic though. Disney, if you're watching this, make the Old Republic movies. Yes. People will go and see that. Exar
Kun, Nagasato, Tula Cord, what's the other? Marco Ragnos, all them people. Darth Revan, Malik. Of course, I prefer Revan and Malik's storyline.
Listen, Disney, it's already laid out for you. All you got to do is copy and paste.
Yes. The stories are already out there. You can just take some of the legends and just throw it into a new show.
Yeah. Nobody cares about these side stories.
I know. To me, these are just nameless Jedi that didn't really get the attention they needed in the main movies.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you could make a movie about anybody growing up.
I know.
Yep. But I'm going to leave it right here. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank you again for doing a review. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace.